Match week 20 in MLS Next Pro, which means that the playoffs are just around the corner. Two teams that have a lot of ground to make up look to start the climb tonight. Minnesota United FC2 taking on Colorado Rapids 2 from Blaine, Minnesota. Hello, family. I'm James Hadnot. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. The Loons and the Rapids, two teams that do have a far climb if they want to find themselves in playoff contention, but plenty of time left in the regular season for them to reach their goals. Of course, Colorado last year, the top team in the Western Conference in the regular season, and Minnesota was a fringe team that just missed out on the playoffs. As we look at the Western Conference table right now, currently these two teams at the bottom, respectively 13th and 14th, but for the Rapids, they snapped a streak of 2 straight losses with a win last time out versus North Texas, and for Minnesota, they snapped a streak of 6 straight losses last time out with a draw to Austin 2-2. And so these are building blocks, and we've seen with a team like Carolina Core in the Eastern Conference, a month of success means you're right back in the thick of things in the MLS Next Pro League. So let's take a look at Coach Jeremy Hall's starting 11 for the Loons. 5 changes for Minnesota from that draw against Austin. Of note, Enrique Nieves will start alongside Aiden Martinez. Nieves has been a part of this team since earlier in the year, spent some time with the first team in training camp, but has not been able to get onto the field due to international clearance issues. And so now, due to the training, the window availability now for Nieves, he is now on the pitch for Minnesota United FC2, and he will make his first start. As we take a look at Colorado Rapids 2 and Eric Boucher, his starting 11, 7 changes from their win against North Texas. Dauda Amadou is staying in that starting lineup. He now moves into sole possession of all-time appearances for Colorado Rapids 2. Noah Strelnauer, just 16. He's well on his way to working his way up that list. Leads the team in assists. And the 2 center backs, Nate Jones and Joshua Balouz, are in as the returning starters. Another player making his first appearance, Zach Campanolo, in goal for Colorado. And so for the Rapids, they have a long history of successful goalkeepers. Adam Beaudry, who's made his way to the first team as a homegrown, Ethan Bandre, Abraham Rodriguez. And so Campanolo is next on that list as he makes his debut for Colorado. And completing that note for Nieves, due to the transfer window closing just recently, that is what allowed for him to now be able to be on the pitch and to make this start. And talking with Coach Hall, Enrique Nieves is a player that can really impact things offensively. He's dynamic in regards to attacking goal, and Minnesota needs it. They're 4th least in the West in regards to goals for. And looking for Nieves to bring about a spark. Whistle blows, we begin action from Blaine, Minnesota. It's Colorado Rapids 2 and Minnesota United FC2 on match day 20 in MLS Next Pro. Minnesota in their all-black kits, and Colorado in their white kit tops with maroon bottoms as this ball rolls out. And Zachary Campagnolo, his first touch of the ball. He was an MLS Next All-Star this year, has capped with the U17 national team. So again, just another member of the long line of excellent goalkeepers, a part of that goalkeeper fraternity in Colorado. Hold up play by Alec Diaz. He's surrounded by Loons. Ball lost. Given right back by Will Schmidt. Colorado back in possession. Colorado had another MLS Next All-Star, Miguel Alvarado, who was going to be in the starting lineup but took a knock, and he is on the bench today. Minnesota pressing high and just making things difficult for Colorado in these first moments. Minnesota's lone MLS Next All-Star, Darius Randall, 17-year-old. Ball lost to Minnesota, then one right back. Slip forward, but offside is the decision as Marlon Vargas was trying to break free. McRobb unloads one deep, but the ball will roll back for Joshua Balouz. And Campagnolo sends it forward, but it's won back by Minnesota. Loons trying to attack. Ball one. Romanchin. Nieves still on it. He'll tap it out. Ipsais. McRobb. Minnesota will recycle possession. Diagonal off to the right side. And that's taken care of by Colorado. A little touch off the turnover. And nothing in that from behind as Dauda Amadou had to be perfect. But Minnesota putting a lot of pressure on, winning the ball back high up the pitch. Looking for an early goal. That has been the issue for Minnesota. They have conceded goals throughout this winless streak. It's now stretched to 7 matches. They did get something out of that last match with Austin. But prior to that, they had been really struggling. And in asking Coach Hall about those struggles, he was very candid and just was not happy with the type of goals that Minnesota was giving up. But here today, defensively, they have not allowed Colorado to breathe at all. And offside was Tamer Ipsais. Pena. Jones. Elevates a ball down the wide side, but again, Minnesota on that quickly. Ipsais. McRobb almost turns the ball over and does. This is Marlon Vargas. And the ball that found Facundo Nunez doesn't usually make a mistake. Amadou trying to turn. And again. And so a lot of pushing and shoving. Some players tangled up. Amadou did not want to allow for a quick restart, but he was tripped up and he felt he was pushed. Romanchin was trying to play the ball quickly, and the two shake hands, and we continue play in the 6th minute. Martinez, a little ball he taps back, but overran in the end. Jones, he'll take his space, try to break through a line, but again, nowhere for him to go. Sent out wide. Fisher. Nice slide tackle by Amadou. Pena. Out the back door, and now Colorado has a chance to come forward. Not a bad idea as Diaz was making the run into the box. But Clint Irwin was there for the danger. Ipses wins this ball back. Throw in coming for Minnesota. So our head referee, Velmir Stefanovic, saying something that looked like to the Loons bench. And now play can continue. Coach Hall, in regards to his team most recently, said that they played good for stretches, but haven't been able to put together full matches. And that's what he's looking for in this match, wanting to get out on the front foot quickly. Wants to be the team to take charge early on. And we've seen that in how they've defended throughout these first 8+ minutes. Jones. Amadou. Pena hounded. But now Colorado breaks out. Back to Amadou. Amadou over the head of Jones, but with no one over there, he has plenty of time. Nate Jones drops in a ball. That's Marlon Vargas. Led the team last year in assists. So you know he has the touch. Amadou. And that ball bounces off Nieves. Play restarted quickly by Colorado. Flores. Amadou. Switches play, but could not connect. Strelnauer picks this off, but McRobb does just enough to keep possession. Now O'Driscoll over the top. Martinez makes contact, and that's a bad foul. Patrick Dormo is the man that took the worst of it. Martinez just trying to get some of the ball, but Dormo, you can see that's a high boot and gets hit in the face. Dormo is fine, and we continue. Strelnauer's touch just tapped by Tamer Ipses. Check that was Giovanni Cruz who tapped the ball towards Clint Irwin. Strelnauer was looking for his team-leading 7th assist. Strelnauer at 16 years of age. Arguably, maybe one of the snubs from the MLS Next All-Star team. Definitely worthy with his play this year. Amadou taking off the ball. O'Driscoll tries to start the break, but Britton Fisher could not control the outlet pass. Dormo. Flores slides to Strelnauer. Marlon Vargas could not complete his run toward the touchline. We talk about Minnesota and their last 7 matches. Colorado has 2 wins in their last 7. Their second coming last time out versus North Texas. Their only other win was against Houston, as Flores is toppled over by Nieves. And for Colorado, a team that has had ups and downs, as a member of MLS Next Pro, their first year struggled a little bit like this. Last year saw a lot of success, and when your second team has a lot of success, some of those players tend to find their way on the first team, and that's exactly what's happened. Oliver Larraz is a consistent starter for the first team. Remy Cabral, Golden Boot winner last year, tied with M.D. Myers and Jack Lynn with 19 goals. He is a member of the first team after spending the beginning of the year on loan. This ball slipped in. Martinez looking for space, but Amadou closes him down. Vargas looking for Diaz, and Alec Diaz, the former Toronto FC2 man, was offside. Finishing the point on Colorado. It tends to happen like that. As some of your top players move up, you have to move up younger players, and it takes time for them to find their stride. Noah Strelnauer is one of those players who has definitely found his stride for the second team. Wonderful ball out wide. Minnesota might be able to do something with this. Martinez tap back. Britton Fisher sends out to Ipses. He returns to Finn McRobb. Now Ipses turning, but unable to keep possession was Will Schmidt. That's a holdup by Finn McRobb as Ricardo Pena was trying to clear. Through the first quarter of an hour, it's been all Minnesota. They've had most of the possession, but neither team has taken a shot. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allina Health, an altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at allinahealth.org. Minnesota has had a healthy amount of the ball. They're looking for their first shot as Nieves right into Ipses. And Ipses looking for the perfect pass. Now this shot is well wide by Rory O'Driscoll. You thought the moment might be right there as Ipses slipped into a pocket of space inside the box. Was on his favored right foot, but rather than whip it into the low corner, tried to serve it on a platter for Hayden Martinez. But down to Amadou again. Right place, right time, and that's what you want to see from your captain. Nice little tap back. O'Driscoll holding up play. Schmidt sends to Ipses on the edge of the box. Whips in the cross towards the back post, and it's headed away by Dormo. Ends up tracking it down himself and then clearing it. Only as far as Giovanni Cruz. And Marlon Vargas can't believe it. There's a foul as the fast break was about to start. Let's take a look at this. Diaz first man to it, and you see Alec Diaz just stepping on the foot of Giovanni Cruz. That's a foul. Mowing sends this ball into the box, and now Campagnolo, his first grab of the day. Mentioned that Zachary making his professional debut, has played mostly with the U17 side. He's been in first team training as he gives up this mistake, but nothing there as Cadro Manchin was in the box. Now Marlon Vargas taps forward to Facundo Nunez. Nunez around Mowing. Dummy play. Diaz had a feeling that Marlon Vargas was there, but he was just a step too slow. Vargas on it now, over the top. And Ipses tries to keep this in and does, but only as far as Steve Flores of Colorado. Vargas, after assessing his options, finds Flores, and both Steve Flores and Alec Diaz not on the same page. And it's been a bit disjointed for both sides. Colorado in particular. And you can tell at times when teams are trying to find their mojo, maybe trying to be too perfect. That's why both Coach Hall and in conversations with Eric Boucher, he wants his team to play free, play loose. Coach Boucher specifically just wants his team to trust their training, trust what they do every single day. And when it comes to game time, celebrate the opportunity. Campagnolo right to Nunez. Now Diaz turning. Steve Flores joins the fun for Colorado. Strelnauer. Blues into Vargas, looking for options. McRobb will go back to the goalkeeper, Irwin. It's out of play for a throw-in. Amadou. Pena. Played with the Costa Rican senior national team and was a consistent member as a youth international as well. Pena takes the touch, slips to Flores. Returns to Pena. That's out for a Colorado throw. For the first third of this first half, Colorado finally seeing some possession. That is something that Minnesota does not want to see, because then Colorado can express themselves. Vargas. Pena. Stabbed away by O'Driscoll of Minnesota. Flores on the ball again by Ipses. And another throw in deep in the final third. Flores, Pena, Vargas over the top. Diaz tries to box his man out, and it's a stoppage of play. I have to check the angle to see if Diaz was deemed offside, as yes, he was around the final defender in Giovanni Cruz, but not a bad idea. Now Colorado first to the ball. O'Driscoll takes a lot of contact there from Facundo Nunez, and it will at least warrant a conversation. That is the final warning he will receive. You see here just a little bit reckless trampling over O'Driscoll. So as play resumes, these two teams met earlier this year, as Ken Paganolo will pick this up. Diaz's touch is taken away. But again, this ball out of the reach of Aiden Martinez. And that's what Coach Hall for Minnesota was mentioning. I asked him in regards to the lack of offense, what was it? And he just said that final pass, that final bit of execution necessary is what we've been lacking. Colorado coming the other way. Given right back up to the Loons. Britton Fisher can't find his way around Patrick Dormo, but O'Driscoll around Ricardo Pena sprays the ball towards Ipses. McRobb. Now the ball into O'Driscoll. Enrique Nieves takes this ball away from Flores, but tracking back to defend with Joshua Beluz. Once again, Colorado turns it over. Ipses into the box. And this ball can't be kept in, and it will be a corner for Minnesota. So our first set piece of the day for either side. And maybe this can provide some juice for the home side. Rory O'Driscoll, 2 assists last season. From the state of Minnesota, his hometown of Minneapolis. Velmir Stefanovic having a conversation with players outside of the box before this corner commences. O'Driscoll raises his hands, sends the ball across the box and out for a goal kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allianz Life Insurance, Company of North America, proud worldwide insurance partner of the International Olympic and Paralympic Committees. Facundo Nunez likes to work on an island. Spins, mowing like a top. Nunez now shoots. And it's headed away by Giovanni Cruz. That is something that Colorado likes to see. When Facundo Nunez has space to operate, he is special. And right now, Patrick Dormo prepares to throw this ball in. And to Vargas. Returns to Dormo. Back down the line to Jones. Pena into space. Flores. Baluz. Vargas. His cross takes a ricochet. Nice slide tackle by Cage Romanchin. Throw-in coming from Minnesota, and this is what we've seen from the Loons at times. And this is what they're trying to counteract. Of course, a new sporting director, new head coach at the first team level, as they've made some changes. And as those things have trickled down, it's taken more time as they incorporate everything. But at this point of the season, have the ability, just have to execute. Amadou. Diaz squirts this ball through to Strelnauer, but he cannot pick up enough pace to speed past Rory O'Driscoll. That's out for a Colorado throw. And here you might see this ball going to the box. You see Alec Diaz, once again, a bigger body, trying to stay in front of Giovanni Cruz. Flores does put the ball into the box, flicked on, but nobody in the middle of the pitch. Flores takes a nice touch, but cannot slip the ball into Diaz. But for Colorado, as they found more of the ball, they found themselves deeper and deeper into the pitch. And let's see what the decision is here, because Rory O'Driscoll had the right to that ball. It looks like he is going to be called for the foul. Another foul given. The ball has to be taken from a deeper position. .31st minute of action, no score between Minnesota and Colorado. Minnesota has taken one shot on the day. Colorado still looking for their first shot, as they have not seen a lot of the possession in this match, but they've started to find some of the crevices in the Loons defense. Just, again, very similar to Minnesota, have not been able to connect that final pass to really put pressure on Clint Irwin. As Minnesota, they've started with the pedal down defensively the first 15 minutes of this match. Continue to press high. But right here, Colorado might have something. Nunez takes the shot. And it flies over the crossbar. You see Vargas right to Nunez, set it up, and was looking for that top corner. Pena does well defensively, slips it to Vargas, but guess who's there? Rory O'Driscoll sliding in defensively. He is not happy as he feel like Pena committed a foul. But here, O'Driscoll, and he might have an argument, but for Rory O'Driscoll, the wherewithal to make the defensive play, then go state his case to Velmir Stefanovic. He will receive a yellow card for how animated he was in stating that case. But a case he does have after what has been called throughout the match. First corner for Colorado taken short. Marlon Vargas can't even get his engines going as there was contact in the box. And both set pieces for both sides not producing as both coaches would have hoped.
Yellow card caution was issued to number 34, Rory O'Driscoll of MNUFC2, in the 33rd minute.
Clinton Irwin boots this ball away, flicked forward, and Enrique Nieves is bombarded, and that will earn a foul. And it looks like a little bit more. So Joshua Baluz, the center back, goes into the book. And that's what arguing your case will get. After Rory O'Driscoll picked up a yellow, but was more upset about the contact, similar type contact. And now Colorado's center back Joshua Baluz has to be careful as he defends players like Aiden Martinez and Enrique Nieves. And also the second set piece of the day for Minnesota. O'Driscoll floats this ball towards the back post. McRobb could not keep it on frame. That was a fluttering ball, and McRobb had all the time, but just could not steer it goalward. 35th minute of action. Minnesota continues to keep the pressure on, forces the turnover. Fisher stays on the ball. Aiden Martinez tries to slither through. Enrique Nieves runs into a wall and works the other way. McRobb wide to Ipses. Now Nieves trying to do it all on his own, and he cannot swerve around Steve Flores. First ball won by Finn McRobb. Flores looks to send it where it came from. And off the pinball, McRobb goes the other way once again. Who's gonna settle this ball? It comes to Ipses. He's fouled. So another free kick coming for Colorado. Excuse me, for Minnesota. This is definitely a time to put some numbers into the box as Ipses gets it down the line, has support, and Will Schmidt. Schmidt's cross, and that's the goal! And offside is the decision. Dom Mowing thought he was free for his first goal of the year. But it is waved off. Let's take a look at this one more time. Mowing had slipped right behind, but offside was the decision. So Colorado, after seeing that goal come off the board, now in possession. Minnesota thought they had their first, but Dom Mowing was offside per the assistant referee. Marlon Vargas loses possession, but it's won back by Dauda Amadou. Amadou is fouled. Now Alec Diaz slides to Facundo Nunez. Well-weighted ball to Pena. And now Minnesota just has to clear that away. This portion of the match is brought to you by Bell Bank. Switch and see how banking should be. 39th minute. No score between Minnesota and Colorado. Loons thought they were on the board. Now this ball is free and a mishit. Aiden Martinez misfires right in front of goal. It has been troublesome at times in the back. There have been two instances like this as Zachary Campagnolo was looking for Dauda Amadou, and Amadou actually just put it on a platter for Martinez, but he could not finish. Ipses into Romanchin. In tight quarters, Nieves, and that is a foul. So Enrique Nieves, although he has not taken a shot on goal, has been very slippery in tight spaces. And he creates a chance on this set piece for Minnesota. Rory O'Driscoll and Will Schmidt, the two standing by the ball now. O'Driscoll, and that's a header off of a Colorado player out for a corner. So Rory O'Driscoll will trot to the corner flag to take this corner. And Minnesota has to be wondering what they have to do to get on the board. They found themselves down in so many of these contests across this winless streak. And the cliche goals change games, very evident here. Out-swinging ball from O'Driscoll, hit into the air. Martinez keeps it alive, and Alec Diaz heads it out of the box. O'Driscoll sends it into the box. Now Marlon Vargas is on the ball. Vargas is fouled, and that will be a yellow on Cage Romanchin. A professional foul to stop the break. Romanchin is the second player in the book for Minnesota. You see here he is beat just about a shoulder or so in front, and so doing all that he could just to impede the progress of Marlon Vargas. Strelnauer slithering into the middle, looking for Facundo Nunez, cannot find him. Britton Fisher, too heavy as he looked for Martinez. And the ball is ushered out by the first teamer, Nate Jones. Jones, who played at the University of Washington, former All Pac-12 second teamer. Dormo. And Jones just sends this away. Cruz attempts to head it forward. Amadou plays it off of Britton Fisher for a throw-in. A little back flick, and Alec Diaz almost made the most of that. So McRobb does the right thing and sends it away. A chance potentially to press for Minnesota here late in the half, as they have forced Zachary Campagnolo into a couple of mistakes. First ball there won by McRobb, but it's with Amadou. Looking for Diaz, and a push in the back by Giovanni Cruz means a foul. Ball is played by Amadou. Thought he was going to get a restart. Martinez slowed down by Amadou after the mistake. Flores turns it over, but a heavy touch by Britton Fisher as Minnesota tries to make the most of the mistake. Slows the attack. And that has been the MO. Minnesota has made Colorado make a couple of mistakes on the day, but that first touch to start the break or the final pass to finish the break just has not been there. Colorado coming the other way. Noah Strelnauer on the edge of the box to Marlon Vargas. Now down to Amadou. Vargas still on it, and he'll take it out into the box. Cuts it across. Nobody home. Good ball to start something for Minnesota. This is Britton Fisher. Martinez can't keep possession. And now Nunez, thinking that Minnesota was a bit stretched, tried to send it forward. Match opening up now. Fourth official announcing a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time to conclude the first half. McRobb switches play out towards Britton Fisher. Nieves does the right thing to get around Jones, but he cannot keep the ball in play. And that just might be the final action of the first half. Patrick Dormo sends the ball back into play. And there is the halftime whistle. Colorado with just one shot. Facundo Nunez sent it over the crossbar. Minnesota with more chances, but no goals. As Dom Mowing thought he had his first goal of the season, but he was offside. Minnesota and Colorado going to the break, tied 0-0. Coming up, we look back at an epic week in Columbus after this halftime break.
Messi! sweet. Ahí está el centro. ¡Gol! Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta al frente. Servicio. El tiro.
Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. ¡Golazo!
Amor al gol.
Parte externa. Va a definir Chichu.
Listen up, all eyes on me. I'll show you who you wanna be. Hey. Yeah, yeah, hey. Oh, wow, wow, wow. It's going down, down. You don't want to miss that. It's the new sound. It's the new sound. It's the new sound.
Toda mi gente lo siente,
Toda mi gente lo siente.
toda mi gente lo siente, y
Toda mi gente lo siente.
toda mi gente caliente, toda mi gente lo siente.
Toda mi gente suena. En la favela suena. El techo se me llena.
Toda mi gente lo siente. Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, pon la mano en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Hello and welcome back to Blaine, Minnesota. Minnesota United FC2 and Colorado Rapids 2, 0-0 at the break. Let's take a look at an epic week in Columbus, Ohio, as some of the best stars in North America gather for the annual MLS All-Star Week. Michelle Montaigne and Samara Perez were there, and they recap goalie wars in the MLS Next All-Star match that featured several MLS Next Pro players.
What is going on here?
Odonze has been crowned. That's it. He's done it. Congratulations, Chitoro Odonze.
We're back with another special episode of The Report, this time the 2024 Goalie Wars edition. I'm Michelle Montaigne, joining you from the great state of Ohio. All the biggest stars in MLS descended right here in Columbus for 2024 All-Star Week festivities. Things got kicked off with the 2024 MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T. And of course, Goalie Wars took center stage. Samara Perez and I were there for all of the action, and we're here to relive the excitement with you.
In the first semifinal, Crown Legacy FC's Chituro Udunze defeated John Antoine with the lone goal of the match in overtime. The second semifinal got up to a hot start with the home kid Stas Lapkas going up against the #1 seed Michael Kolodi. The pair traded goals before the Texas keeper would go on to win it 4-2 and advance to the final round. In the championship round, Chituru edged out the #1 seed Kolodi in a competitive championship round that featured one goal from the Crown Legacy FC man who would go on to lift the belt. We caught up with the champ who shared his excitement following the intense match.
No, it's great. It's always great to win stuff. So I'm happy to bring this belt back to Charlotte again. So yeah. I'm telling you, you guys don't understand. 90 seconds of diving and shooting is hard. I promise you. It's like CrossFit, I swear.
His teammate and 2023 Goalie Wars champion affectionately felt he had something to do with his teammates' victory.
You know what? He did his thing on the field. I'm going to take a little bit of credit, but he did his thing. He didn't concede a goal the whole time, and yeah, it was a great win. And I'm just happy he's coming back to Charlotte again, back to back. To be honest, he didn't need much prep. Like, he was focused, he was locked in, he had a good time with it. He's a great guy, and yeah, he went out and did his thing.
And in the end, it was the WWE superstars who spoke about how exciting it was to be at Goalie Wars.
It's a great crack, a lot of fun. It's all about right. It's all about everybody coming out here, having the time of their lives, getting to see the next generation of MLS talent come up. And, you know, you see all the kids in here as well, probably the future generation of MLS players, hopefully. But this is great, so much fun. Me and Sonia had a chance earlier on to go and goal and try and take each other out, you know, in a friendly way.
Not easy at all. Very physical sport, very underrated. I know we're wrestlers and everything, but this is up there with the physicality level.
Come on!
So, for the second straight year, the belt remains in the Queen City. But here in Columbus, we're sticking with the Stars theme. As part of the MLS All-Star Week festivities, the 2024 MLS Next All-Star Game took place right here at historic Cruz Stadium, and our Samara Perez was here for all of the action. She recaps it with us here now.
The West jumped to an early lead in the first 15 minutes with back-to-back goals. The East was able to get one back at the 19th minute when New York City's Drew Baera scoring the equalizer to send both teams level into halftime. In the second half, a penalty would be called that would set up a Kevin Sullivan goal from the spot at the 77th minute, and just minutes later, he would dish out the assist to Cincinnati's Stefan Chirilla, who would seal the deal for the East. After the match, the MVP talked about his connection with Chirilla.
Yeah, so I played with him back in Philly a few years ago, so it was already there. The chemistry was already there. He hit it off the post to me. I drew the penalty and scored it, so I knew I had to get him back, and it was just a great celebration.
Stefan, you scored the game-winning goal. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
No, I'm super excited, especially that we won 4-2, good win. I'm just super excited, my first All-Star game, so I'm just really excited.
Hey guys, we're joined by Sean Zawatsky of Columbus Crew 2. Sean, we just witnessed the MLS Next All-Star game. Tell us your impressions on the match and on these guys.
I mean, it's incredible to see the talent that these kids have at such a young age. It makes me think back to my days, and there's nowhere near this. So it's amazing to see, the incredible talent and the competitiveness amongst both teams.
For these guys, you know, they get to be a part of this game, and they're surrounded by the other best players within all of America and some Canada. So now they take their talents back to the next pro, and they keep on working, and then hopefully they get the opportunity.
Lower.com Field has witnessed both MLS Next Pro Cup championship crownings so far, with the Capybaras taking the crown right here on home turf in 2022, and then Austin FC2 winning it on the road on this field just 1 year ago. Now Verdos is looking forward to something new in the works. For our first ever MLS Next Pro Invitational between champion and campeón, you have Austin FC2 playing host to Liga de Expansión Campeones, Cancun FC. Past MLS Next Pro Invitationals have welcomed some of the most prestigious brands in football, like the EPL's Chelsea, Crystal Palace, and Wolves, and the Bundesliga's Hoffenheim. But in the first ever edition featuring MLS Next Pro and our southern neighbors, the Invitational will feature a new twist of pitting two champions against each other. The game will take place this Saturday from Palmer Field in Austin. You can watch it live on MLSNextPro.com at 9 o'clock Eastern. Just like the Invitational, MLS All-Star Week that took place right here at Lower.com Field gave players the chance to embrace international competition as they competed against their Mexican counterparts. Liga MX and MLS continue to try to grow the beautiful game right here in North America. And for our MLS Next Pro goalkeepers, it gave them the chance to experience an environment that only All-Star Week can bring. But as we shift back to MLS Next Pro regular season action, we know the competition is only going to heat up as teams look to cement their place in the playoffs. Until then, that does it from here in Columbus. I'm Michelle Montaigne saying so long from Lower.com Field.
lo siente. Toda mi gente lo siente. Toda mi gente lo siente. Y toda mi gente lo siente. Toda mi gente caliente. Toda mi gente lo siente. Toda mi gente suena. En la fadera suena. El techo se me llena. Toda mi gente lo siente.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. It's a lot like this. Cream on cream. The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco, como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, 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 mira, sacúdete.
Messi. La pelota para que llegue.
Really, really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol.
Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta. Al frente. Servicio. El tiro.
It's saved by Carlos Coronel. Con autoridad el centro. Por la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega. Golazo.
Parte externa va a definir Chicho.
No score at the half between Minnesota United FC2 and Colorado Rapids 2 at the National Sports Center Stadium in Blaine, Minnesota. Now we take a look at the first half. Minnesota have to argue that they had more chances in that first half in comparison to Colorado, although both sides finished with 3 shots apiece. But Minnesota was rather dangerous in their chances. You see Marlon Vargas flipping this ball over the top. Alec Diaz thought he had a true chance on goal, but he was offside. And then here for Colorado, Rory O'Driscoll is taken down. Ricardo Pena slips to Marlon Vargas, but O'Driscoll, despite feeling he was fouled, made the defensive play. We see Colorado again coming forward. This was their best chance. Facundo Nunez on his left foot, but he could not send it past Clint Irwin. Now, Finn McRobb at the back post. We see Minnesota's chances. And this was the one that Minnesota's going to want back, as Aiden Martinez was right there and could not put it past Zachary Campagnolo. Neither side registering a shot on goal in that half. And 2 corners for Minnesota, 1 corner for Colorado. Minnesota had more set pieces, a couple of chances from a free kick, but nothing notching the scoreboard for the Loons as we get ready for the second half. We take a look at the schedule. And here is the match week 20 schedule. A lot of important important matchups. Orlando City being Chattanooga, two teams on the fringe of the playoffs right now. And that matchup between Philadelphia Union 2 and Columbus Crew 2 going to be a big one. Columbus is unbeaten in their last 6. Their last loss was to Philadelphia 3-1. And always in for a good one. North Texas and St. Louis, the two teams at the top of the Western Conference. That match will happen on Saturday in match week 20. As we think about the match weeks here in MLS Next Pro, some matches that are happening right now in Leagues Cup at the first team level. DC United and Atlanta 3-2 at the half. Orlando City at halftime 3-0 on top of Montreal. And later on tonight, Austin and Pumas, along with the first team from Minnesota, they'll be in Leagues Cup action against Seattle. And that is why the likes of Jordan Adebayo-Smith, Patrick Weah, not with the team. Loic Manzanvi, not with the team for this second team matchup. So Coach Hall told us it was going to be another young squad. And with that, you have players like Cage Romanchin at 18, Tanner Ibse is at 18, Hayden Martinez, who's another teenager. And so all you can do is play those you have. And they produced some real chances in that first half. Can they produce some magic on the scoreboard here in the second half? Velmir Stefanovic blows his whistle and we begin half number 2. Minnesota and Colorado. James Hadnot here with you this evening from Blaine, Minnesota. And Minnesota in the black kits. Colorado in the white kits with maroon shorts. This ball falls for the Loons, and that'll be an early foul on Dauda Amadou, as Will Schmidt was on it. And an early set piece for Minnesota. So an opportunity for the away side to have some numbers come into the box. See the line that Colorado is setting up. Right on the edge of the 6-yard box where the ball would hope to come. So the ball goes to the back post. Pena heads it right at Zachary Campagnolo. Campagnolo, member of the U17 side, making his first ever appearance for the second team. Doesn't come out for this one as the ball is hit out by Dauda Amadou for a corner kick. Third corner of the day for Minnesota. Rory O'Driscoll, the kick taker early in the second half. Outswinging ball headed away by Blues. Only as far as Cage Romanchin. Loops it back into the box. That ball is dealt with again by Colorado. O'Driscoll keeps it in on the touchline and stays in possession. Cruz cycles possession back to Ibses. McRobb. And now another ball whipped back out to Britton Fisher. He floats it in, headed away by Nate Jones. Dormo turns it over, retakes possession, and finally Colorado with some breathing room. Diaz is fouled by Britton Fisher. Amadou plays it quickly into Facundo Nunez. Nunez is just pushed off the ball. And a goal kick upcoming. Facundo Nunez, who has a excellent left foot, came in as a substitute against Vancouver a couple weeks ago and had 2 assists, just like that ball coming down the line. Did not get a chance to control it to send it in. So that is something that Minnesota does not want to see as this half continues. This ball is sent out of play, and Colorado will have the throw in. Talk about the Rapids. Dropped a couple matches on the road, the first one being the LAFC2, 3-2. As there's a lot of tangled up legs over there on the touchline. This ball comes to Fisher. Fisher to no one. There were 4 members in the box, but Fisher put it behind all 4 of them. This ball slipped in to Will Schmidt. He's converged and nothing there as Marlon Vargas is fouled by Giovanni Cruz. So as we take a look at the contact on Marlon Vargas, just right behind on his leg. And Giovanni Cruz picked up a yellow card for this action. So now 3 men on a yellow card. Press again, forcing a turnover. Colorado ends up in possession. Amadou. Strelnauer steps in front, but then cannot get around Finn McRobb. And now Pena just runs right into his opponent. So we'll take a look at who took this hit. And that's his old friend, Rory O'Driscoll. In the first half, Rory O'Driscoll thought he was fouled by Ricardo Pena. It turned into a goal-scoring opportunity. O'Driscoll came back, slid, stopped that opportunity, and then earned a yellow card. And so Pena committing another foul of similar fashion, and this time he goes into the book. O'Driscoll just loses possession. Now it's 4-on-4, racing forward. Nunez, Dormo, back to Vargas. Cuts it in front of Dormo, who cannot play the ball in. And it ends up out for a corner. So it will be Alec Diaz, former Toronto FC2 man, to take the corner. You see the action as Vargas played it into Dormo, who was looking to go back in front of the face of goal. Diaz lifts this ball into the box. First header is from O'Driscoll, and it's out for another Colorado corner. Diaz will take it once again. This time it's an outswinger. McRobb, the first one to it. Ball is still free, and Will Schmidt sends it away. Patrick Dormo slips towards Daroma. And it's tapped out. Dormo into Diaz. Now Facundo Nunez. Can't play the ball into the box. O'Driscoll, Schmidt. And there's a foul behind the plate on Dawda Amadou. So you can hear from the fans, they feel that it should be more than just a foul. Only a foul on Dawda Amadou. Mowing, nice ball. Romanchin flips out. This is Tamer Ipses. Into the box he goes. Ipses shot stepped in front of by Ricardo Pena. Cage Romanchin with another effort, but it only as far as Patrick Dormo. Colorado coming the other way. Strelnauer slides to Nunez. Dangerous ball right in front of Clint Irwin. End to end we play now in the 56th minute as Tamer Ipses slows his pace. Finn McRobb plays down the line, has eyes for Enrique Nieves, and that ball is out off of Steve Flores. You see Facundo Nunez plays in great service and just a tick too far as Alec Diaz and the goalkeeper Clint Irwin were converging at the same time. Last time these two teams met, it was Minnesota who got the win 2-0. Dormo trying to be a little cute, loses possession. Fisher works back. Goal scorers were Patrick Wea from the spot, and Malik Jesse Khan had the late goal in the 90th minute. Here today, both sides in a stalemate. Advantage is played as O'Driscoll goes down. Will Schmidt, it's a 3-on, now 4-on-5. Fisher sends it in, and Colorado got back and defended that well. Schmidt. Romanchin. That ball rolls out. And the yellow card going to Dawda Amadou.
Substitute substitution for Colorado Rapids 2.
So now that Robinson Aguirre comes on, it is now back to being a tie for most appearances. Both Aguirre and Dada Amadou have 53 all-time appearances for Colorado Rapids 2. For Amadou, he is second all-time in starts behind only Yosuke Hanya. Hanya on loan. Fisher keeps this in play. Cage Romanchin is pushed down. Play on is the decision. Ibses tracks it down on the touchline. Finn McRobb flips the ball towards the back post. Fisher rises up, but cannot get good contact as the ball will roll to Zachary Campagnolo. We're in the 60th minute of action. You'd be hard-pressed to say that Minnesota has not had the better chances in this match. They definitely have. A little back heel as Ibses tries to find Aiden Martinez. Here's this chance again. Romanchin, you see, was a little push, but Velmir Stefanovic had a good view of it. Romanchin. Now Martinez. Enrique Nieves leaves it for Fisher. And it's right at Zachary Campagnolo. Fisher had all the time in the world to pick his spot, but you have to credit Nate Jones, who was coming over and really cut down where Fisher might want it to go, but it was on target, just right at Zachary Campagnolo. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allina Health, an altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at allinahealth.org. Dormo on the touchline, and Will Schmidt can't keep that in. Dom Mowing is grabbing at his shoulder, and that's something you don't want to see, as there was a coming together, and he is really laboring on that left shoulder. Mowing, who had what Minnesota thought was their first goal in the first half, but was called offsides. Amadou has to be careful. You see Marlon Vargas pointing at his head, saying you have to be smart. Amadou is already on a yellow. And although Amadou is the captain, Marlon Vargas showing great leadership right now. And there it is. A second yellow is shown, which means a red for Amadou. And Colorado will have to play a man down for the rest of this match. Vargas was trying to plead his case and hopefully keep Amadou in the match, but the foul was too heinous in the eyes of Velmir Stefanovic. Amadou is done for the day, and Minnesota will play a man up for the final 28 minutes. Here's the foul again, as Amadou right on the side of O'Driscoll. It spent him away. O'Driscoll was counting the fouls just like Velmir Stefanovic ended up doing himself. So does this help the cause for Minnesota? to find a go-ahead goal. Nate Jones is battling with Will Schmidt. And Schmidt is called for the foul. Captain's armband now on the left bicep of Marlon Vargas after Dauda Amadou is sent off on his second yellow in the 63rd minute. Nieves. Now Finn McRobb. Signed this offseason after a successful career at High Point University. Former Big South Defensive Player of the Year. McRobb himself had a nice chance on a header in the first half. Just couldn't keep it on frame. Gliding forward is McRobb. Nieves back to Cage Romanchin, but he cannot slip through. Now Noah Strelnauer for Colorado. Into Aguirre. And just relieving some of the pressure. How does Colorado respond and how does Minnesota respond? The Loons already defensively were on the front foot, forcing mistakes out of Colorado, just could not find the back of the net. Now they have the man advantage. As Campagnolo into Aguirre. A lot of pressure, but again, Colorado very calm. Some space opening up now for Marlon Vargas. Flores. And that is off of Minnesota. Goal kick. We always appreciate how candid coaches are, especially when their teams are on a bit of a downswing. And for Minnesota, Coach Jeremy Hall was very honest that he felt his team battled back versus Austin in the last match after going down 2-0, but did not play to the standard. Here today, although they have not scored a goal, have answered the call. And right now have a chance to get on the scoreboard. This is Tamer Ipses. Back to Finn McRobb. Plays in a cross. It'll bounce it. Campagnolo, who has settled in after a first half in which he almost made a mistake, or made two mistakes that almost cost Colorado. Flores. To Noah Strelnauer. The 16-year-old into the box. Finds Flores. Taps out to Aguirre. Robinson Aguirre at the byline. Reverses field. Aguirre lifts it in. And not bad action from Colorado down the man. O'Driscoll Ipses. And as Rory O'Driscoll sends this towards Enrique Nieves. Once again, Nieves to Romanchin. The 1-2. And Romanchin shot power, but right at Campagnolo again. But some of the best action on the day has been with Enrique Nieves involved. And Zachary Campagnolo again called upon and answers the bell. Off the turnover, this is Aiden Martinez. And for Martinez, it's been a tough day at the office. He's had a wide open net that he sent over the crossbar, and that time hitting the crossbar. He has to be wondering and feeling like, goodness me. So Clint Irwin, the 10-year pro, played for TFC, as well as a former Colorado Rapid, playing against his former team. Minnesota making their way forward once again. Nieves, Romanchin, a 1-2 from O'Driscoll. Romanchin around one man, out wide to Fisher. Nieves, McRobb, O'Driscoll, switching play towards Fisher, out to Martinez. And as that ball rolled out, substitutions will be made. So the MLS Next All-Star, Darius Randall, comes on for Aiden Martinez.
And checking in, number 42, Justin Arias.
And Justin Arias will come on as well.
Number 50, Aiden Martinez. And checking in, number 57, Darius Randall.
So Martinez, who had a tough day, will look back on this one and be happy that he was able to get into the right spaces. But will be thinking, what if, on some of his chances. Now Fisher works back to Dom Mowing. Nieves. McRobb. Giovanni Cruz. Errant ball. And now with some space opening up, Arias over the top, but Darius Randall is deemed offside. Darius Randall, the MLS Next All-Star, spent a lot of time with the first team in preseason training camp, and he is just growing as a pro at 17 years of age. O'Driscoll. Arias. Noah Strelnauer trying to start a break. Vargas with a nice ball in front of him. But Strelnauer loses his footing, a foul in the end. And that will be a yellow card to the substitute, Justin Arias. So Noah Strelnauer is still down. We see again Vargas with a nice weighted ball. And Strelnauer is just held up by Arias. So the yellow card comes, and now the substitute has to play the rest of the match on a caution. This portion of the match is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota. You and Blue better together. 75th minute, no score between Colorado and Minnesota. Aguirre towards the back post, and it'll bounce out. Which side will be able to produce a little bit of magic? Which player is going to step up and set the tone? Maybe do it on his own. This match has the participants to do it. Who's going to take charge? Nice turn by Cage Romanchin. Romanchin switches play towards Britton Fisher. Fisher flips it in. Tracked down in the end. Cut across. Arias could not find someone inside the 6. Minnesota still in possession. Colorado hunkering down defensively, trying to retain the 1 point as it stands right now in the final quarter of an hour. Fisher over the head of Randall. Now Darius Randall into Nieves. Possession recycles around once again. Romanchin collides with Joshua Balluz. And now we have substitutions.
Substitutions for Colorado Rapids 2 in the 77th minute. Checking in, Rogelio Garcia, replacing number 39. Marlon Vargas, also checking in number 75. Vincent Rinaldi, replacing number 46.
So Facundo Nunez will come off, and along with Marlon Vargas.
And checking in for
Helio Garcia and Vincent Rinaldi, the two to join the pitch. Will Schmidt will come off, and Julian Banks will come on for Minnesota. Now for both sides, specifically for Colorado, the usual suspects who make the magic have come off the pitch, whether it's Nunez, Vargas. So who will step up? Randall, nice back heel to Nieves. Nieves with a slick move as he showcases his quality. Throw in coming for Minnesota. Into Randall inside the box. Has to tap it out to Fisher. Now Nieves Plays in the cross. Headed away by Steve Flores. Minnesota playing up a man after the second yellow was shown to Dauda Amadou back in the 63rd minute. 15 minutes. They have not found the go-ahead goal. Randall showcasing some strength to scurry through a couple of defenders. But Fisher could not keep possession. '80th minute. If we were to be tied after full time, we'd go to a shootout. Both teams would earn a point. And the team that won the shootout would earn an extra point. Romanchin. Nieves. To O'Driscoll. Tries to sneak one past the back line. Pena. Some contact on Julian Banks, but no foul. And there is a foul and a yellow card as Flores and Banks come together. So Julian Banks receives the yellow card for the contact, and something more must have been said, or Steve Flores was not happy. Flores, who's been a part of Colorado Rapids soccer since he was 12 years old. Former GA Cup winner back in 2021 with the U17s. So he lives and breathes Colorado Rapids football and is not taking lightly to fouls of that nature. Second ball headed. And Flores has plenty of time, works back to Campagnolo. O'Driscoll. Nieves. O'Driscoll. Nice little touch to Romanchin as the ball comes out wide. Cross comes in. Now O'Driscoll takes the shot, and there it is! Rory O'Driscoll breaks the deadlock, and Minnesota leads 1-0. It was loading for O'Driscoll. He's the man that has had a lot of contact against him, so it's only fitting that the captain comes up clutch as this ball dropped right to him off the header from Balouz. Got to his favorite foot and found the back of the net. Minneapolis, Minnesota native, makes it happen.
Scoring for MNUFC2 in the 82nd minute. Number 34, Rory O'Driscoll.
Goal kick for Minnesota. As they found that first goal, they've defended all match and now have the advantage up the man as they look for all 3 points to stop this 7-game winless streak. Their last win was against Colorado, 2-0. There's another foul that Steve Flores will most likely not take kindly to. As play resumes, Colorado down the man, now down the goal. Nate Jones facing some pressure. Fisher steps in front of that, receives the back heel from Banks. Fisher can't keep possession in the box, but the ball will roll all the way back to Clint Irvin, who restarts things. This portion of the match is brought to you by Target. Target is here for the love of the Loons. Minnesota 11 shots to just 3 from Colorado. Four shots on target to none for Colorado. Randall could not keep possession there after he went to ground. Advantage played. And McRobb sends this forward to Justin Arias, the Bloomington, Minnesota native. Ball left in the middle of the field. Anybody's ball. Dormo and O'Driscoll come together. And the foul will go on O'Driscoll, but both are grabbing at their legs right now. So both being stretched by their respective teammates. This is just two players putting it all on the line. You see O'Driscoll, he was actually falling before making a true slide as he was grabbing at his leg and then went to ground. Dormo was sliding just to get to the ball. And so both requiring some stretching. And now the trainers will come out for both teams to adequately stretch both parties. I mentioned that Leagues Cup action is in full effect. Take a quick look. DC United is leading 3-2 on top of Atlanta United. Orlando City putting it on Montreal 4-1. And Austin FC on top of Pumas 1-0. Minnesota will play later on tonight in Leagues Cup action at 10 p.m. Eastern. And speaking of Austin as well, in MLS Next Pro play, they will be taking on Cancun Football Club in the MLS Next Pro Invitational. That'll be on Saturday at Palmer Field. The reigning champions of MLS Next Pro will face the champions of Liga Expansión MX. The first time two champions facing off in the MLS Next Pro Invitational. Substitutions coming on is Maxwell Simpson for Patrick Dormo. So Dormo cannot continue. O'Driscoll, the captain, he's getting a swig of water. He's looking like he wants to stay on. So for right now, both sides are even 10 men apiece as Minnesota waits for O'Driscoll to be allowed back on the pitch. Aguirre sends this headed to Belouz, and Clint Irwin grabs that header from the Syracuse University product. Nearing the 90th minute. And McRobb working back. Ball rolls all the way to Irwin. And McRobb will receive it once again as Minnesota tries to wind down the rest of this clock and earn all 3 points at home. It will be back-to-back wins against Colorado. It will be the first time tasting 3 points since May. Pena from behind, Darius Randall tracked back, and that's what you want to see as you look to finish off a match. Aguirre, Jones, now Baluz. This is the time for Colorado to take advantage of being even at 10-minute apiece. The fourth official announcing a minimum of 6 minutes of added time. Rinaldi watches this roll out. Throw in coming. Ball is back in. Simpson sends it in. And it is cleared away by McRobb. Ball is in. Aguirre and Rogelio Garcia try to work his way through. Pena loses possession. And that is a foul on Nate Jones, nothing more. But now precious time will tick off the clock. O'Driscoll is back on the field. So now Minnesota is back up a man. Ball is out wide to Julian Banks. He is toppled over by Nate Jones, but a clean tackle in the end. O'Driscoll tries to keep this in, and his work keeps possession for Minnesota. And Minnesota just trying to stretch the field and force Colorado to use what last bit of energy they do have. Offside on Enrique Neves. Baluz boosts this one into the box. First ball headed away by Giovanni Cruz, and now a true clearance as Campagnolo is out of his box. Fisher overran it. Now Simpson. Flores. And another clearance. And with Randall committing the foul, a chance for Colorado to put numbers in the box. The fourth minute of our minimum of 6 minutes of added time. It's Seems like there's always one chance in stoppage time for each team. Is this the chance that Colorado grabs onto as they try to steal a point on the road? As the tension rises, anticlimactic as Velmir Stefanovic has to talk to players on the edge of the box. Now it's time for the free kick. Robinson Aguirre sends it in, headed away. Back to Aguirre. McRobb hits it to Clint Irwin. Irwin, an old pro, knows how to maximize his time. Mentioned that he played 5 seasons with Colorado Rapids. Also played with Toronto. And he played in 2022 with Rapids 2 in their first year in Next Pro. Britton Fisher sends this ball back in. Final minute of added time. Aguirre will do well just to keep possession. This is Baluz. And Baluz is bulldozed. Baluz goes back to Campagnolo. Now the ball dumped forward, past everyone. And Irwin will surely take his time now. Irwin sends it away. Ball is headed forward. Baloo steps in front of Randall. Minnesota still looking for more. Campagnolo puts it back into play. Maybe there are a few moments left for Colorado. But with that touch, that'll do it. For the first time since May 26th, Minnesota tastes all 3 points. The last team they toppled was Colorado, and today's score is 1-0 over the Rapids. Tonight's man of the match is Rory O'Driscoll of Minnesota United FC2 and is presented by Adidas. After numerous opportunities for the Loons, as soon as O'Driscoll got this, he found his footing and scored his 3rd goal of the year and gave his team a lead they would not relinquish. Your Adidas man of the match is Rory O'Driscoll. Thank you so much for joining us this evening from Blaine, Minnesota. Your final once again, Minnesota 1, Colorado 0. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. My name is James Hadnot with my entire fantastic Apple TV crew saying good night and have a blessed evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.